65 Drake Road. I have some questions about the SES program also. According to the guidelines that are available on the state's website, it continually, repeatedly says that the parents have their choice of who they are to use for tutoring, as long as they are on that state list. I see on the website that one-to-one, I don't know what the situation was, is no longer allowed to service children. They were on the state list, according to the state, they are. And it's up to the parents to choose. It's also the parents, according to this, were supposed to be notified in writing if their child was eligible. Okay. There's also kids that were set up for tutoring and were told there was no more money. Are we assured that those kids that were already signed up and ready to start will continue to get the services they were entitled to with that 7? Yes. My next question is, the students are telling me that at the high school, Ms. Julie took away the early dismissal for next year. It's now late arrival. Seniors that have to work after school is going to make it impossible for them to do. So I don't know, is that really set in stone? Because late arrival doesn't do anything.
Okay, so that's the end of your question, right? I guess this was the SES question has come up multiple times, and she could ask a few new questions as in they are state approved, and specifically she spoke of one particular organization, one-to-one. I don't know if you can answer the question, but she wants to know, are they still allowed to be a provider if it's not?
Bob, through the chair, Mr. President. While one-to-one is on the provider list by the state, the rules also do require all these providers to get board approval and sign a contract with the board. The state actually has a state-approved contract that they have to sign. To date, we have no signed contract with one-to-one tutoring. That's why they're not working.
Through the chair, I would like to respond to Ms. Barbara's comment. The only reason I'm responding is it is a current legal matter. Regarding the SES, if I could just have a second, the June 25th letter of the Department of Education does require the board to take action by no later than July 7th. And that is, as I thought I clearly, and if I didn't, I'm sorry, there are 4 options. The first 3 all say that $765,381 must be used by, and I'm paraphrasing, by the end of August. The 4th option is to appeal that decision. But if the board does not appeal it, that money must be used this year for public school students. The only reason I'm knowing of this is because it's a legal issue, but it is my legal opinion that if the board elects to not appeal that, that is only for public school students. Now there is a list. Again, this has been compiled by Mr. Anderson, Mr. Zella, and others. There are approximately, and this is an approximate number, quite a few students who receive some part of SES services. The State Department of Education has clearly said that we only need to utilize $765,000. So then who would get the services would be the question, because there are a lot more kids than money. What the department has told us, which I do concur with in my legal opinion, should the board not appeal this, is that there needs to be criteria set out, academic criteria, because it's assumed that the children on that list are on the free and reduced lunch list. That's a requirement. Public school is the second requirement. A school failing is the third requirement, which unfortunately that would apply to all schools. Then the question is academic criteria, which needs to be developed by the student and her staff.
And I will have someone address the late arrival. We're not sure. I'm not sure because we haven't set policy for next year. I'm not sure. We'll have to discuss with the building principal if they have set that up. That she may have a reason why, but we don't have an answer for you right this minute. So someone will get back in touch with you.
Well, what about the children who were already signed up? I heard what you answered, but what about the children that were already signed up to receive?
You shut me down again.
No. Well, the ones who are signed up specifically probably for one-to-one is what we're talking about because we're saying they're not a provider. Will they be able to go with a different provider and get the same SES services? Can we answer that question with a yes or no?
There's never a yes or no, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on. Yes or no's all the time.
The students who are eligible should and must be serviced.
Okay.
Is that
So those who signed up and are eligible should and must be serviced.
So they will receive a letter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Water.
What is the period one-to-one?
You would know that my name, if I attend the meeting, my name is on the list.
And I'm sorry.
No, I need to check the pens of the people sitting up there. My name off. Michael, at some point you should explain to James Waters, I still live in the same place I've always lived for the last 30 plus years.
You don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry, 1275 Old County Line Road, which has been changed to County Line Road East. At some point, I'd like you to explain what legal standing is in the community, that the children in the school district have legal standing, and what that means, and where we're going to go with that at some point. I hope that the names of the board members that are listed here are spelled correctly. I'd like you to confirm that at some point, because I want all the plaintiffs to be identified properly.
Jim, not to correct you, that would be defendant.
Well, you know, I didn't go to law school, so I won't challenge you on that. Otherwise, I'd be living a much better life if I had your resources. Going to 19, page 19, 20, and 21. When I look at a district being culturally insensitive, when I look at what we did in this district to the paras and what I've seen coming from this board, and I hope that these people that are on this list aren't replacements. And I look at the kind of money that's being considered for all of these folks, I'm going to call a spade a spade. You know, there's no other way to deal with it. I am going to look for the qualifications of all of the people that are on this list. I'll submit a form to you, and I want a listing of their educational background and what qualifies them to earn this kind of money. I think it's important that the public find that out. I see a trend on this board, that this board is like a cash cow for non-public entities. There's no other way to say this if you look at what's going on here. You know, I almost answered the question as to why you don't have a lot of board members attending graduation. When the board looked differently than this board looked, you had a lot of board members attending public school graduation. Public school graduations may not be important to everybody up here.
3 minutes.
There was some people that said that the board's doing the best that they can. You know, I wanted to interrupt and say, I don't buy that. You know, when you care about the success of young people in the school, the numbers will bear out your dedication to that. The number of young people that are being successful, the number of young people that are improving. It's time for us to stop trying to, pardon the expression, whitewash everything and smooth it over, because we need to start calling it the way it really is. My name is going to be on the list, and it's going to continue to be called the way it really is. I just hope that we get some newspapers, some radio stations, that have the guts to print what's going on in this